move on to a tennis story while I think about more about my grandfather, but I wanted to quickly add this about my grandfather. I started to talk about grandfather not knowing anything about the Holocaust. As I say, he really disappeared from the world when he had a stroke in the fall of '43. But he knew all about and was horrified by the Nazi persecution of the Jews. And grandfather had this to say. He said, "This war is won," and he said, when the war is over, he said, there's going to be so much sympathy in this country for the Jews that they're going to, this country's going to support a Jewish state to be restored in Israel, in Palestine. And he said that'd be a big mistake. He said it hasn't been a Jewish state for 2,000 years, just about. It was wiped out by the Romans, and in fact, there isn't a Jewish state. So it's 2,000 years almost, and if there is one, it's going to earn the dying hatred of the Muslim world, particularly the Arab Muslims. They're never going to get over a reestablishment of a state of Israel, and we shouldn't have that. But we have to have a solution, and here's what makes grandfather so remarkable. He said the U.S. should throw open its doors to world Jewry. We should invite all the Jews in the world to come to the United States. And the Jewish people, he said, are wonderful people. They'll be a tremendous help to the U.S., and we will avoid a serious foreign policy era. And that was his solution. And of course, he'd been even more for that if he'd known about the Holocaust. All right, so I'll come back to grandfather further on, but I'm going to turn to tennis now and give a tennis. So this is something completely different. I'm going to talk about tennis strokes, and you know, we have such incredible men's tennis being played, and I've seen it firsthand, as I said, since Pancho Gonzalez won the U.S. Open back there in, 1948 was it? Something like that. And I'm going to start off with the serve of all things. I should say this. Also, I learned tennis all during this period. See, I didn't really start playing tennis seriously until I was, or really playing it at all, until I was like 42 or 3 years old. And so I had lessons, particularly at the beginning, and I was taught all wrong. I never seen a sport that was taught so pathetically wrong. And I'm going to start with the serve. There's this classic serve, and it's all based upon the beautiful take back of the racket. And you take it back this way, and you drop it and swing this way, and it misses the whole point. The point is not, it is not how the racket's taken back. The point is, where's, at the point of impact, what's happening? Where's the point of impact? I was never taught where you stand at the point of impact. All you do is stand sideways and you're hauling the racket back, but you know, that's not where the serve is. The serve is entirely different. You're facing the court. You're not sideways. When the ball's actually struck, you're facing the court. Your legs aren't far apart, they're close together. The serve was never taught that here at the instant of contact, here's your position. Here is what the power and speed of the serve is. It is a forearm fling, primarily a forearm fling and a wrist turn. Yes, the whole body's involved, but it never was taught to what it was. And the complicator is you don't have to have any backswing. You can hit a powerful serve with virtually no backswing. Just put the racket in the right position. The real trick is the ball toss. The ball toss. But so why am I talking about this? Because only recently have they given up all this business about bringing the ball back. Now, one of the problems with it, I mean, of all the wasted time I've had serving, it was all on how to take the racket back. It was nothing about how the ball's hit. But now they finally learned you can take the racket back any damn way you want, but you've got to be in the right position to hit it, and the ball toss has got to be in the right spot, and we don't give a damn how it looks. And as a result, the serve has been able to keep up with the rest of the game. Now, I was taught a forehand. I mean, the whole silly forehand business where you run across, you plant your right foot, and then you step forward with your left foot, and then you hit the ball. So I'm sideways to the ball. So you run, plant one, you bring your left foot around, square up two, you hit three. Well, they no longer do that. They hit sideways. You run, you plant, and you hit. And of course, Joko, he runs, plants, and hits at the same time because he's already turned sideways. He plants, and his body's already then turned. And this is enabled the forehand to tremendously, you have much greater coverage on the forehand side. I was taught, there's no wrist in hitting a forehand. There's no wrist at all. You just keep a stiff wrist. You don't use your wrist. You don't bend your elbow. Your elbow's pretty straight. To hit the ball that way, you have to be almost in a perfect position. And man, I mean, what a different stroke it is now on the forehand. And because you have so much more reach and control with a Western forehand than you do an Eastern forehand, you can have a two-handed backhand with still having great court coverage. And what does the two-handed backhand do? The two-handed backhand keeps high balls to your backhand. A one-handed backhand can do a whole lot, but it can't do what a two-handed backhand can do on high, powerful balls. So the game is completely changed. I've never seen a game more totally changed, and it's only been in recent years that they even knew how to teach it. And all the wasted time I spent in how to learn how to play the game wrong. So I consider that I did pretty well with it. With putting that behind me, when I was in my 80s, my pro said, "David, you're going to hit a Western forehand." And I said, "I can't do that now." And he said, "Look, you don't change your grip, you just stand sideways and hit the ball. And all you got to do is hit it up. And I'll toss the ball to you. And you can bend your elbow all you want, you can bend your wrist all you want. You're going to stand sideways. You're going to stand facing the net, and you're going to hit forehands. and by golly, I could hit terrific forehands. You can't hit, you can hardly hit the ball out when you're hitting a Western forehand. It's difficult to hit it out. And when you're hitting an Eastern forehand like I was taught, and man, if you're not right up with the ball, perfect position, you're going to hit the silly ball right in the net. So, but anyway, despite all that, I've had a fabulous time playing this game. And okay, so I'll leave that behind. That's my stories for today.
And I'm sticking with it.